If Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, we call it the Torah, T-O-R-A-H, Ara, how was he able to write Genesis and Moses didn't come on the scene to the second book of the Bible, which is Exodus? So I said, well, Lord, how was that even possible? Like, how was that possible? I need to do some investigating. So then I started reading, and I got to Exodus 33:11. And it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses face to face. Pause. Face to face? Like how you and I are doing right now? Yeah, just like you said, face to face. As a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp by his servant Joshua, the son of Nun. A young man departed not out of the tabernacle. I said, okay, Lord, I'm picking up what you're laying down. All right. So as we know, Moses came and the burning bush, like it was burning up, but it wasn't getting consumed, right? So we try to be like, what's going on? Then I said, okay. So God spoke to Moses face to face, like how we talking, like boom, bam, you feel me? Just like this. Then I said, okay. So in Numbers chapter 12, verse 8, now this is God speaking. With him will I speak mouth to mouth. Hold on, wait a minute, mouth to mouth? When you think about mouth to mouth, what do you think about? Some people think of talking, but when I think of mouth to mouth, I think of CPR, right? What does CPR mean? So I looked up CPR. I got my iPad right here. CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation, right? A lot of times when people do CPR, that means whoever they're performing CPR on is unresponsive, right? But in this case, Moses was alive. And God says, with him will I speak mouth to mouth. Also, as you know, the word of God is considered to be God inspired, right? That simply means that it was God breathed, God inspired. So what am I saying? So God literally breathed into Moses what he wanted him to write, right? The word says that in Numbers chapter 12, verse 8, with him will I speak mouth to mouth. It's almost like they were one, like mouth to mouth. Like I am breathing my breath into you, ruach, right? I am breathing my breath into you. This is God. I'm literally breathing my breath into Moses, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. So dark speeches, when he say he speak to Moses, he ain't using no parables. He ain't using no metaphors. He ain't using no allegories. He ain't none of that. He is speaking to Moses face to face directly, right? No back, like all straight, right? And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. He's talking about Moses, okay? So what does similitude mean? Similitude means a person or a thing resembling someone or something else. So God says, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. What is that saying? That is saying when God spoke, because God literally said he speaks with Moses mouth to mouth. It's just like God is speaking. He spoke through Moses himself. God was inspired. God inspired. He put his breath into Moses, and that is how he was able to write Genesis, even though he wasn't physically there, because when he breathed his breath into Moses, he then helped Moses dictate what he wanted him to write. And so when he did that, God was able to breathe what he had done prior to Moses' arrival to him. And that's how he was able to write it. So I said, okay, God, that makes sense. Like, oh my gosh, like God spoke directly to Moses, right? Numbers chapter 12, verse 8 is where it says, with him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore, then why you're not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Right? But I want to focus on that first part. Right? So then in Exodus 33:11, God was like, look, Exodus 33:11, and the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. Like how you and I are talking, how you talk to your friend on the phone, or you talk to your friend, you meet him at a restaurant, you eat, and y'all talking. That's how God spoke to Moses. Face to face. There was no in between. There was no gray area. He spoke to Moses